Okay, so today we're going to look at compound interest. So just a couple of key things here that you need to take down. When a loan or investment is paid back in full, the total amount is the sum borrowed plus the interest that was paid. So we're going to be looking at people borrowing, so getting a loan, or we're going to be looking at savings. And when we're looking at either of those, and they're keywords, so sometimes if you see in a question, you see the words savings, loan, borrowed, you might see AER, you might see APR, or compound. That's another one, compounded. As soon as you see any of those words in a question, you know we're going to use this formula in some capacity, okay? And this formula, it's on page 30 of your formula tables. So just a couple of things on this formula. We have F is the final value, so that's the amount borrowed or invested plus the interest. Principal is the amount that you're borrowing or investing initially. So for example, if I'm borrowing €5,000, I'll never pay back just €5,000, I'll pay back more because I have to pay it back with interest. Similarly, if I save €5,000, bank will give me more than €5,000 back because they will have given me interest. Then you have this I, so I is the rate of interest per annum and it's always used in decimal form. And then finally T is time, okay? So those keywords up the top, they're the ones that you need to be looking out for in a question, and we're going to practice some of these questions now. Okay, so using that formula then where we have F equals P1 plus I to the power of T. Sam borrows €300 for 1 year at 2% per annum. How much interest will he pay for the year? Now remember, we are going to find out here the final amount, and the final amount, final equals, principal plus interest. And if we only want to find the final, or if we only want to find the interest, we're going to have to take the final minus the principal. So always be careful as to what the question actually asks for. The second thing that I would do here is I would label my key information. So my principal amount here is 300. My time is 1 year. And my interest rate is 2%, but we know that'll be 0.02 because we've been told it must be in decimal form. And all we're doing is we're plugging all of that information into our formula here. So I don't have F. My principal is 300. 1 plus my 0.02 and my time is 1. And then after that, all you have to do is pop that all into a calculator. So just remember how to use your the button. So on your calculator, you're going to pop in 300, use your bracket button, 1 plus 0.02, bracket button. Now we can just press equals here, but if we were using a number that was bigger than 1, you would have to use that button on your calculator that says x to the power of a coloured in box, and then put in whatever number that is, and we've talked about using that before. So my answer then, my final amount is 306. And I've just said that in order to get my interest, so interest will be 306, my final amount, minus my principal, which gives me €6. Okay, so what I'd like you to do here is to pause the video and have a go at this question. Now, if you want to pause the video now and try it yourself, that's fine. If not, I will just give you a little bit of a head start. Your principal amount is going to be this 200,000. Your years is 2 years, so that's your T. And your I is going to be 3%, which in a decimal form is 0.03. So go ahead and plug that into the formula now and then come back. Okay, so we will have a go. If you're not done, press pause and then press play when you're ready. So we have final equals 200,000. 1 plus my I is 0.03 and my t is to the power of 2. So again, on my calculator, I'm going to put in 200 bracket 1 plus 0.03, close my bracket, and then I have an x to the power of 2, so that's really handy. You can just press that. And my final amount then is going to be 212180. Okay, and that's what they were asked, how much will our investment be worth at the end of 2 years? Now, if they asked how much interest did she have at the end of 2 years, of course what we would do here is we would take this final amount, subtract the 200,000, and that would give me how much my interest would be. So it would be 12,180. Again, I'm just going to pause it here and let you have a go at this question. So again, go ahead and pop in a little bit different language here, but don't worry. Again, we see some keywords. So keywords like that tells us that we're going to be doing compound interest. So things like borrow, we see APR, we see compounded. They're all keywords. Interest, they're all keywords that tell us we're going to use this. So we go straight to our formula tables and use the formula. I'll write out the formula here for you as well, so you can start at that. F equals to P1 plus I to the power of T. And just really important to know here, how much interest will, that should be she, pay on the loan. Okay, so how much interest? So again, remember that my final amount is equal to my principal plus interest. So if I want interest, I'm going to do final minus principal. Okay, so what you should have gotten here, F equals to principal is 100, 1 plus, so I should have labeled these first. P, this is my I, which is going to be 0.02, and my T is 3 years. 0.02, my T is 3. So I get F equals to, and I'm going to pop all that into calculator, 100. 1 plus 0.03, close my bracket, x to the power of a box, and I'm going to pop the 3 into the box. And what I'll get is 109.2727. So I'm just going to leave that at 0.27. Now, not finished, because it asks us how much interest will she pay on the loan. So I'm going to say interest equals my final amount, 109.27, minus my principal amount, which is 100, and that gives me €9.27 that she's going to pay on the loan.